Hi, Dan Beck here, where we study some Jesus' teachings and look for the wisdom of Jesus Christ. And uh, some of the interesting riddles in the Bible, one of them, I think, or observation, is that, Satan, he's the liar, father of all lies, as Jesus said. And, he came to Adam and Eve and he tempted Eve and said, this God, he's trying to keep something very valuable from you, this tree of knowledge of good and evil, basically. And, he knows that you're going to be like him if you have this knowledge. And so she later says, the same beguiled man I ate. Um, so this mankind thinks that because they eat of this tree of knowledge of good and evil, that they really have gained knowledge of good and evil, because that's what the devil said that they would gain, and uh, God did not say, hey, this tree of knowledge of good and evil will give you all this knowledge, the complete knowledge of good and evil if you eat of it. Uh, so we're kind of left with this, with the dilemma, because uh, when we think we have the knowledge of good and evil, we think we have all the knowledge of good and evil, and uh, that can get us in trouble if we don't have it all. We don't have enough knowledge of good and evil to keep it from getting us in trouble, and that's really knowledge without wisdom, and so it's incomplete knowledge. And so let's look at an example of that, because Satan is basically telling, Adam and Eve, have this knowledge, and you'll be like God. And a lot of people think, well, we're like God because we have this knowledge, but Jesus comes along and says, uh, when they were crucifying him, which is would it be perceived as a pretty evil act, he says, "Forgive them, Father; they know not what they do." And this forgiveness by Jesus is very profound, because on that cross, the tree of Calvary, he's essentially reversing what Satan had caused back in the Garden of Eden. Eat of the tree, and you'll have knowledge. And Jesus is saying on the tree of Calvary, they know not what they do. Now, who are we going to believe? Uh, if I were to play the devil's advocate, I'd say, let's see, they got the nails out. They beat him. They took his wrist. They put the nails on there. They drove the nails in with a hammer. I'd say they knew what they were doing. So how could Jesus say that they know not what they do? And it's up to us to determine how Jesus can be speaking the truth, or is Jesus not telling the truth. And here's what I came up with is they don't know not what they do. They knew what they were doing, but they did not know who they were doing it to. And how interesting is that? We know what we do to one another, but we really don't know who we are doing it to. We don't know the magnitude of our error, of just who we really are as eternal beings and children of God Almighty. We don't know that yet for sure. But Jesus knew it. And Jesus prayed that they'd be forgiven because they did not know it. They did not know what they were doing because they did not know who they were doing it to.